Good afternoon, Mia. We're in your studio and we're here to talk about the Inchables Challenge. Can you tell me a bit about it?
The Inchables Challenge was a challenge I set up in relation to my dissertation. So in my dissertation I was looking at creativity, cultivating community, and whether or not being creative gathers people together and how we can encourage that. So the Inchables Challenge is a bit of a prequel to that, in that I was looking at whether working small motivates people to be more creative on a regular basis. So I set up the Inchables Challenge, and I also was interested in looking at whether or not we can use the images that we do to look at our mental health and how we can use that to maybe track our emotional journey, and whether we can use that in any way to kind of like clarify how we're feeling, or kind of the journey our life's going on, and if we can look back and see good times, bad times that we recovered and things like that. So the Inchables Challenge was a 21-day challenge, which I set up in the university. So it was doing a creative piece of about an inch in size every day for 21 days. Here's some here. You can see people did all sorts of things in the end, but I can kind of get back to that a bit later. I originally set it up in the corridors of the uni. Later on I was going to set it up in different departments, like the science department. That would have been interesting, and I don't know, maybe the drama, or just general places like the library or the bar, to see if people would get engaged with it. From maybe, I mean, in the arts building people are already being creative. So I set it up by putting up a poster and using that as my initial call for action.
Okay, and tell me a bit more about how you set it up.
So I put the poster up as my call for action, and I had a plinth with a little chest of drawers on it, and inside the drawers were the sheets that people have filled in here. I did two sheets, one with really accurately drawn boxes and one with really scruffy ones, and I put them in the drawers. So one of the drawers had, if you are a disorganised person, take a sheet from here, and that was the really neat boxes. And I also put a drawer which said, if you're a chaotic person, take a sheet from here, and they were just kind of like just to play with people a little bit. I also had a sheet on the wall which was asking people to draw a smiley face to say whether or not they were going to participate. So it was just kind of like, so I had a sheet full of like faces when people had taken a sheet, which was pretty cute. I liked that idea, and I didn't get any rude pictures, which was a relief. And then I launched the Facebook group, also Instagram and a Twitter hashtag, Inchables Challenge, so people could upload their daily doodles and share what people had been doing.
So you had a Facebook group of how many people sort of started participating? Are you aware of how many people took part?
Well, in the group there was 54 people, but not all of those were kind of fully participating. A lot of them were kind of lurking and just watching, which is fine. That's what social media is all about, really.
How did you maintain an interest in the idea of keeping it going, and how long a period did you do it for?
So it was a 21-day challenge. So I started the build up about a week before on social media, so gathering people, doing posts to kind of get engagement with the group, with the Facebook group, and to direct people to where the sheets were in the trays in the corridor. And then I would post every day throughout the challenge with different kind of things I'd done. So I did some all sorts of different things. I did there, and I did some knitting and some collage and some printing and just all sorts of different things to try and inspire people to try something new, just for that little tiny little size. And it seemed to work. So people would post their pictures and how they felt about it, and that it was helping them or not. And I was interested in how it was helping them and in what way. And people found that it would just give them like a few moments of time out where they could just focus on that inch, and that would have a restorative effect, like a bit of a power nap doodle kind of thing.
Were you getting sort of feedback as you were going along over this period of time of the 21 days?
From the social media, I was. Obviously, the other people that took the sheets who weren't on social media, they were just that I wouldn't know what would happen with those until they came back after the 21 days. But yeah, people would post kind of every few days with what they were doing and how they were finding it. Somebody said they were using it in the run up to their exams just to de-stress, so that was nice.
How did you collect the results at the end?
I put another poster up. Every day where I had my initial poster, I would add my Inchables every day, so it got more populated as the kind of 21 days went on. So that kind of kept it alive, and people would maybe look at it every day to kind of check in, see what was going up there. I put a sign up that the Inchables should go in the bottom drawer. So the people that had done a physical collection from the drawer put them back in the drawer. Other people I had to collect from at the workshops that I run. People just dropped them off at the venue, and I picked them up from there. So some people just kept them and didn't want me to put them up, which is fine. So
you mentioned put them up. What did you do with the Inchables after you collected it?
For the Inchables exhibition?
Yes.
I was thinking long and hard about this location. I wanted it to be somewhere different, but also tiny to go with the project. And I woke up in the middle of the night with a bit of a eureka moment. I decided that I was going to do it in the lift, which just happens to be next to where the installation was, so it's kind of in keeping. And it's kind of like a square space where people take a pause maybe while they're between meetings, or literally between floors, and maybe it's a little bit of time out, bit of thinking time. So I decided I was going to curate it in there.
And what was the reaction like from the people?
Well, I put it up quite simply, just like this. Just elevated it a little bit off the elevator wall, excuse the pun, and kept it really simple and straightforward. But I decided that I was going to put this chair in the lift on a big rug. It's obviously quite a big rug, and chair, so that it could fit in the lift. And I wanted people to use the chair to view the art and just take a moment to kind of reflect upon their day and look at the images and just see how that could just impact their day. So people's reactions to the art. So I did sit in the chair for quite a while, going up and down in the lift, feeling a bit sick. But I did it for half a day, and people would come in and often not see the art until somebody had pointed it out, whether that's because they didn't want to express excitement, or I don't want to make judgments about what people are feeling, but there were the people that would come in and go, oh well, and be all excited about it and ask me about the project, and that was really nice. But I did notice that I hadn't kind of factored in that people would have rucksacks on, and I'd put the art at a height where people would be able to see it really easily from the chair and from standing, and I took all those things into consideration apart from the rucksack factor. So I was sitting in the chair watching, and a guy came in with a big square rucksack, obviously ready for uni, and he was kind of turning around, and I kind of was like, oh no, he's gonna smash it all up, but he didn't. But I did move the work up a little bit after that, so that was good, but very positively received. And I really like the idea of art in lifts and in those stolen moments, just having some creative, reflective time, I think was really fun.
How many people participated in it eventually? How many pieces of
In the
art?
exhibition, there was 11.
How did you feel about those numbers?
That there was 11. I was really happy that there was 11, because I didn't know how many bits of work people would allow me to put up, because it's a really emotional journey and people were sharing their thoughts for the day, and I was a bit unsure whether people would be comfortable with me putting their work up. But part of the Inchables challenge was about mapping your emotions visually and being able to see visually how you had felt through your images, like a visual diary of your emotions. So I wasn't too sure whether or not people would share any, so I was really happy to get 11. So, and that went up really nicely, so if I'd got like 50 I would have not known where to put them. So yeah, it worked out well.
So overall, what have you learned from the project, and what would you do anything differently next time?
I think the main thing I learned was to keep it simple. Now, I am quite good at overthinking things and overcomplicating things and getting overly excited and adding too much into my projects, as people who know me will probably know. But I kind of like pare things down now and keep it simple and try to focus on the message and make that really clear, rather than having 100 different things going on all at once. I just tried to focus on one message at one time, in one place, in one way, and that's my biggest lesson.
And what about the participants? Do you think they've learned something from this?
I did do some feedback cards which I left for them to fill out when they dropped their artwork back, and I did do a poll on the Facebook group, Instagram and Twitter feed, and everybody enjoyed the project. That was a positive outcome. When asked whether or not people would continue doing it after the end of the project, most people said no, but they would continue to do something else instead. So it taught them the benefits of being creative in a small way every day, but they would choose their own way to do that, which is great, which is a positive outcome. So one lady, for instance, said that she'd really enjoyed doing the Inchables, but she wasn't going to continue doing that, but she wanted to start a bigger project instead and do a little bit of that every day. So that was really good. I had some written feedback from a few people. One guy said that he hadn't realised until he'd done the Inchables that it was really relaxing and how it takes your mind off things. So that was really exciting, because that's a lesson that he wouldn't normally have had.
Well, thank you, Mia. And best of luck for the future.
Thank you.